Good morning, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. This is Rich again, back for your second video blog of the day. It's 7:15 on Friday morning, October 31st, 2014. It's Halloween, and this video blog is to pick up where I left off for doing a Memories of Hooters of Boston video blog I did yesterday. And this is going to cover August 1999 through December 1999, and this is going to pick up where I left off what I did yesterday. I told you the first 16 months of me being a regular at my stories of being a regular at Hooters of Boston, and now we're at August 1999, and at this point I went to Hooters 38 times, and the previous month, July, I started to go on a regular basis. And picking up in August of 1999. I go in there in August 7th, 1999. I visited there 2 times. The first visit it was visit number 39, and I was waited on by a girl named Caitlin, which was her nickname was Bad Girl, and she was a very nice lady and stuff like that. She got the nickname Bad Girl because always all the Hooter girls at that time had some nicknames, and she was nicknamed Bad Girl. And Caitlin actually came from the Hooters of Syracuse, New York, because she grew up in upstate New York, and they had a Hooters in Syracuse, New York at that time. And Caitlin was a nice lady. She wasn't that bad at all, even though she had the nickname of Bad Girl. And then later on in that day, I went to Hooters to Boston for a second time to have the dessert key lime pie. That was the only thing they had on dessert at the time, and it was waited by a girl named Christy, who she was a blonde, and she actually was a hairdresser, and she grew up in Wilmington, Massachusetts, and actually grew up on the Billerica Wilmington line and went to Shawshank Tech High School. And then Sunday, I was waited on this girl named Caroline, and then the next week I went to Hooters Boston 2 more times on August 14th. Was waited on Caitlin again, nicknamed Bad Girl, and also later on in the day with a girl named Stephanie. And they had had a new big giant screen television over one of those booths where you could have the ice, not the ice cream. They didn't have ice cream there. They had the soda machines and stuff. They had a biggest giant screen TV, and they were showing on that giant screen TV the movie Star Wars. Usually Hooters of Boston doesn't show any. When I wasn't there, they never showed any movies. They usually always showed sporting events or sports programs and stuff because it's a sports bar, so it was something different there. And then something different there to show. And then the next week, when I went in there, August 21st, I was served 2 more times by Sherry and this lady Darlene, and I got actually another photo of the Hooter girls with 4 of them. And the pictures of getting photos of Hooter girls back then, they had a Polaroid camera, was $6 to get a photo of the Hooter girls with the Polaroid camera. Eventually, they stopped doing the Polaroid camera because when cell phones became in style, they had photos you could click on and take photos on your cell phone. So cameras eventually became outdated, but that's another story for another day. And then on August 28th, I went in there 2 more times and was waited on by Caitlin and this girl named Amy, and was pretty good. And I was getting to be a regular there, and plus I was getting to be known on a first name basis with the managers of Hooters of Boston, and then some of the cooks and stuff. Some of the managers over the years at Hooters of Boston that I got to know well were Dave, Rich, Teddy, Tony, Jason, Louie, Adam, Lassie, Francis, Mark, Steve, and Paul, among others. And I got to know some of the cooks well as well. And I would always arrive at Hooters of Boston when it opened around 11 o'clock or so, and a couple of the cooks says they would get very scared if I did not even show up past 11. They would get worried where I was. I showed up not at 11, but roughly a few minutes after 11 or so, and stuff like that. So I was always there on time and stuff like that. And then on August 30th, I went in there on a Monday because they had a WWE event at Monday Night Raw taping. I was waited by Sherry, and then I reached that was 10 more visits in August of 1999, reaching 48. And then I was becoming a regular, and then the thing starts building up, and I start being regulars there. And it's just like going step by step. It's like, everything's going up and up, and I'm getting to become a regular, which was pretty good. There's nothing wrong with that. And then September rolls around. I went to Hooters September 4th after getting autographs from WWE Divas Tori and Ivory at Sports World in Everett. I was waiting on Christy, number 49. And then 2 days later, on Labor Day 1999, I went to Hooters 2 more times. Both times I was on waited by Farrah. That was visit 50 and 51. I reached the 50 club of 50 visits at Hooters. And then they were asking me, how many more times will you go here? 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. And that was the first time I acknowledged how many times I kept count of Hooters. First time. And that's how, and the girl says that was amazing. And onto something. And then on September 11th, 1999, I was waited 2 more times. I went to Hooters 2 more times. Waited on Sherry again, the Big Dig, and also Christy at the bar. Sometimes I would do stuff in Boston, and then we're over. Well, wait, I didn't want to wait at North Station for the train for 2 hours, because it would be like I do it 2:33, maybe kill off some time going to Hooters Boston and getting a low drink and something. And was getting in the groove of it. And then September 19th, I went to Hooters 2 more times, waited on by Gina and Sherry, and also they usually on Sundays at Hooters of Boston, they would always show the football games because Hooters of Boston had direct TV, so they could get any game they want for the NFL. And it was good to watch the games from all over the NFL cities throughout the United States and stuff, because I knew places in Billerica, they didn't have direct TV at all, so you couldn't watch. The only football games you could watch were on the local stations, was channel WBZ and WFXT Fox 25. If the Patriots were playing on WBZ or WFXT at home, the other network could not show another game per NFL rules. So it was good to see all these games, all these football games for the first time. And then September ends. I went to there like September 25th 2 more times. Waited on Lolly and Joanne. And September 26th, I was waiting on Shannon at the bar. And one of the things that happened on that day, I remember, the computer system at Hooters broke down. It froze. So the ladies had to find out a system to work with in order for them to pay the customers, because the computer system froze up. So, they had to find a system. So I remember that. And now I'm up to 58 times at Hooters. Yeah, it's getting something. I'm reaching over 50. I'm on my way. October rolls around. I go there October 2nd. I was waited 2 more times by Caitlin, Bad Girl. And I was in there when they had, before the Bruins game. I didn't go to the Bruins game that night, but they were, having, a lot of stuff for Bruins promotions by a local radio station, giveaways and stuff. When they had Bruins and Celtics games at the TD Garden, Hooters would always have giveaways for prizes and stuff and this and that. Pretty good. The next week was October 9th, 1999. That was my 23rd birthday, so I told the Hooter girls in advance it was my birthday, I think the week before, and then Sherry waited on me, and they actually, made me a birthday card for it. They made it and say happy birthday. I still have that birthday card with me after all these years. And they introduced me and stuff like that. And they always say in the song, I don't know, and I've been told, I've been done it to you. Somebody's here again, you know, somebody's here again, you know. Today is your birthday, today is, well, our sound of happy birthday to you. That's how they sounded. And then it was good that they sang me happy birthday. Later on, I went to the Red Sox game because they had a playoff game against the Indians. And then I went to Hooters the next day, October 10th. Sherry waited on me again. Then I went there October 16th, 2 more times, waited by a girl named Emily, and later on by Caitlin. And then the next week, October 23rd, was a milestone of me. I went in there for the first time, reached 50 visits a year, 50th visit of 1999, also 65th overall, and I was waiting on Lolly, and it was the first time I went with to Hooters of Boston with people. Co-workers, Sean Lucha and Al Varning. Sean Lucha is famous for saying, "Get out!" But, you know, I worked with Sean Lucha previously at Hot Hanks, and also Al Varning worked at Hot Hanks, so that was the first time I went to Hooters of Boston with people, and it was the first of 8 times. And then later on in the day, I went there was waiting on Fatima for the first time, and she's a very nice lady. And then the next day, October 24th, 1999, I was waiting on Sherry for the 10th time, which is, she was the first Hooter girl to reach me, to wait on me 10 times. Milestone, first of 29 girls. And then, like, later on, I met a lady there, a Hooter girl that looked like Cindy Margolis. Her name's Kelly, and very nice lady she was, and stuff. Bores a resemblance to Cindy Margolis. Amazing. Next week, I go in there 2 more times. On the October 30th, 1999, second time, I went with people with Hooters of Boston. I was waited on by Victoria, and I went with Sydney Gray, who I work with at Hot Hanks in the shipping department. And later on the next day, October 31st, it was Halloween, so I was waited on by a girl named Mickey. She was dressed as a Playboy bunny, and also other girls were dressed up. One was dressed up as a Little Red Riding Hood and a hula girl and other stuff. Sherry was working that day, and she had a shirt called Costume. She was in like dungarees and stuff like that. Pretty good, funny. Then it's 69 I reached. Now, went to November 1999. Go November 6th to November 7th. November 6th, I was waiting on Kelly for the first of 14 times. And then November 7th, I went to Hooters for the 3rd time with people. And I was with Harry Vaughn, who I used to work with at Hot Hanks. And I was waiting on Caroline. And I won with Harry on a bet. So he took me to Hooters. And then the next week, November 10th, I went to Hooters of Boston again, was waiting on by Victoria, and this time I went with 3 people, co-workers of mine at Hot Hanks, Greg Collins and his father, who also worked at Hot Hanks, and Kenny Spanad. And I also went to the Celtics game that night. The first time I went to a Celtics game, amazing. I never been to a Celtics game before then. That was a good time. And then the next day I went to Hooters because I had that day off from work. November 11th, Veterans Day. I went there 2 more times. Waited by a girl named Jen. Waited by a girl named Kelly. But this Kelly doesn't look like what was a different one. And then on November 13th was the 75th visit to Hooters of Boston. And for the first time, I was waited by Hooter girl Brandy. Brandy was a very fun lady, very smiley and stuff like that. She's famous quote was saying, "Hi Richie." She used RICHY. Pretty funny and cute, and I liked Brandy. She was amazing and stuff like that. And then 75, only 25 more to 100. And then November 14th, I was waited on for the first time by Nicole. She's a real friendly lady. She worked at Hooters for 8 years. She actually had like 3 children. And also, actually, every time she would work and I would come in, she would always talk to me. That was real nice. And then later on in the day, I came back to and was waiting on Shelly. Shelly waited on me. It seems that every couple of weeks, Shelly would always wait on me. And then I went to Hooters on November 19th. On a Friday afternoon, I was waiting on Joanne because I had to go see Mick Foley. He was signing books at the old A.J. Wright in Somerville, so I had to bring the Have a Nice Day book there. And then I went November 20th and 21st. November 20th was waited by Jennifer, and November 21st, Shelly, and again, she still waits on me. And then I went to Hooters on November 27th. I was waiting on Fatima, and I got a picture with 4 more Hooter girls. I showed you that picture a few days ago, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. And then the 28th was showed by Sherry again. So I'm at 82 visits at Hooters in November of 1999. It's still going strong, and I'm becoming a regular customer like a norm to Cheers. And December 1999, I only went to Hooters 7 times. I went December 5th, 1999. I was waited by Jessica. I had it pretty good, and there was a lot of football games there. I missed the previous Saturday because I had somewhere else to go, so, that was a rare Saturday I missed. And then December 11th and 12th, I went to Hooters of Boston. Waited by Sherry both weekend days. And then one of the managers says, "Thank you for the Christmas card." I sent a Christmas card to Hooters in 1999. Pretty amazing. And then December 18th, I was waiting on Hooter Girl Sherry again. Now she has 16. And then on December 19th, I was waiting on Hooter Girl Brandy. And this is when she wished me Merry Christmas and gave me a kiss on the cheek. Also, that day, I met Glenn Ordway, the host of the big show on the Big O on WEI, and former NFL player Fred Smerlis. They were there because they're going to host a real post-game show for WEI. So I met Glenn Ordway and Fred Smerlis. And December 24th, I went to Hooters Boston Christmas Eve, 1999. Sean Lucha and Al Varning came down with me again. I was waited on by a girl named Maura. And then December 26th, because Hooters of Boston was closed on Christmas Day, which is right, because no place should be open Christmas, no matter what it is, except if it's an emergency for CVS or like a convenience store, maybe Dunkin' Donuts. But nothing should be open Christmas, no matter if there's an event at the TD Garden or anywhere. Businesses should close because they want to celebrate their holidays with the families. And December 26th, I was waited on by a girl named Krista. Her nickname was Roller Girl. She would always wear roller skates at Hooters of Boston. They could wear roller skates. They had a floor, but roller skates were getting out of style by then, and because more and more people were using rollerblades, but they couldn't use rollerblades at Hooters of Boston because the hardwood floor, it would destroy the hardwood floor and stuff. And it was good to be waiting on Roller Girl. She was a character and stuff like that. My ending up with 89 Hooters visits of Boston in the 1990s, amazing. And keeping count of who's been serving me the most times. Shelly 16 times, 15 in 1999. She was in first place of all time. The next girl was Caitlin Baggill with 5. So I kept count of who was serving me the most times. And I'll be back with these stories, maybe periodically, not every day or so, but I'm going to break them up into sections, half-year sections or quarter sections and stuff like that. Well, I'll be back later, Facebook friends and YouTube followers, more videos. See you later. Bye now.